Hey, my name is Dustin Masters. I'm a Lanier Tech Radiology student, class of 2014, and I will be the patient today.
Hi, I'm Sharon Horn. I'm a Lanier Tech student in the Radiology program of class of 2014, and I'll be playing the technologist.
Hey, I'm Robin Singletary from Lanier Technical College, class of 2014. I am the videographer, editor, and narrator. A 25-year-old male comes in from a dirt bike accident. After spinal precautions were cleared and the C-collar removed, x-rays of the right orbit were ordered. The patient was able to stand and walk. In order to be efficient and have the exam done in a certain amount of time, set the room up before getting the patient. Make sure the tube is properly detented and the right size cassette is inserted into the bucky. Being prepared with proper shielding is always important for the patient. The technologist should always read over the requisition order before going to get the patient. After getting the patient, make sure to double check their full name and birth date on the requisition and on the patient's wristband. Also, the tech should go over a brief history with the patient and ask what areas are bothering them. Applying the shield in the proper position is important for the safety of the patient. The technologist should set a technique for the first projection before positioning the patient in order to save time and discomfort. Always wash hands thoroughly before and after an exam. Also, the technologist should put on gloves for not only the safety of the patient, but also the technologist. For the first projection, the PA axial exaggerated Caldwell, angle the tube 30 degrees caudal. Adjust the flexion of the patient's neck so that the OML is perpendicular to the IR. The central ray is directed through the center of the orbits. Mark the correct side and collimate. It is important that the technologist communicates well with the patient and also provides proper breathing instructions.
Hold your breath, don't breathe. You can breathe. You can relax. I'm going to check this out and I'll be right back.
For the next projection, our Waters method projection, we're going to leave the KV at 70 and bump the mass up to 26.5. For the Waters method, we want the mid-sagittal plane to be centered again and perpendicular to the IR. Rest the patient's head on the tip of the extended chin. Hyperextend the neck so that the OML forms a 37-degree angle to the plane of the IR. The MML is approximately perpendicular to the plane of the IR. The central ray is perpendicular through the mid-orbits.
Hold your breath, don't breathe. You can breathe.
For the lateral projection, we again are going to keep the KV the same at 70 kV, but bump the mass down to 12.5. For the lateral projection, we want the mid-sagittal plane parallel with the plane of the IR. The central ray is perpendicular through the outer canthus.
Just stop breathing for me and stay real still. And you can breathe.
For the Reese projection technique, we are going to bump the KV up to 75 and the mass up to 30. On this projection, the patient's head rests in 3-point landing: the cheek, the chin, and the nose. The patient is rotated 37 degrees from the true PA position. Center the affected orbit down. Central ray exits at the center of the orbit nearest the table.
Hold your breath for me and stay real still. You can breathe.
Once you are done with the exam and checking the images, inform the patient that you sent the images to the doctor and they should hear the results in a few days. Show them back to their room or the waiting area. For the exaggerated Caldwell, the 30-degree angulation is used to project the petrous portions of the temporal bones below the inferior margin of the orbits. This angle is used to show the orbital rims, in particular the orbital floors, also to rule out a blowout fracture. With the modified Waters projection, the petrous margins are displaced by part adjustment rather than central ray angulation. Here in this Waters projection, you are able to see a fracture in the right orbital floor. For the lateral projection, you want the orbital roofs to be superimposed and close beam restriction centered to the orbital region. For the Reese projection, you want to see the entire orbital rim of the affected side, supraorbital margins lying in the same horizontal plane, and close beam restriction to the orbital region.